Hey guys, we got a great update this morning from the developers on the roadmap for console for the rest of this year and kind of what's in store. So this should get us up to pretty close to what PC has, except for the LVS servers, I believe, and maybe a few other things. But so to get into it, September we're going to get the Manas update, which was kind of the last promise on the last roadmap, along with a few other things. But we're going to get October, some goodies in here. Vel, which is one of the ocean bosses that drops a 3 AP stone, the Caphras to level 10, and what many have been asking for, the Medea Valencia sieges, so the castles for those zones, which will kind of mix things up and expand the siege to more people and more areas, which would be pretty nice. So it's fighting over Chaldeon for 2 years. So we're getting also Season Plus servers in here for October, which is the kind of the revamped task at the seasons for BDO, which we've seen on PC. PC's had them for like a year and a half now, so they've had about 4 to 5 seasons. We just had our first season on console, so I think what they're looking to do is to kind of make things for everyone in there, so a lot, and enhance a new player experience. So as many of you know, that little goblin guy that spawned, yeah, he didn't drop any of those frozen type blackstones. They might have told you he did. I killed like 30 of them and never got one. I think they could just buff the rate for him, but I think overall they're going to look to enhance the experience for everybody and make gear enhancing and Tubala enhancing a little easier, which is pretty good. It's more in that a little bit. So in November, we're going to get the mansion that you've seen but can't enter. It should be pretty cool. There's some highlights in there we've seen on PC side. The Doom Dream Horse, which is pretty nice. I hope everyone's been saving their enhancement materials for horse stuff. He drops fire puddles and flames. He's pretty cool. And the Khan boss for the ocean, he gives you like a life stone that gives you some mastery bonuses, which is pretty good. So that's all in store for November. December, we're getting Fallen God armor and Odalita, which is a new grind zone. There's some new mobs and stuff, and there's a nice little town in there that you can live in and fish and cook and do some other cool things. And there is, and most importantly, another egg node, I believe, for you guys who have been waiting for it. So to get into it, Manos, we're going to get the jewelry. This is the big one. You can get these through bartering. There's a daily quest in Heidel, and I'll cover these as we get them. And also, you can make them yourselves. Making them is going to be much more expensive than you probably thought. You need titanium, vanadium, and those black magic crystal shards. But because of the pen event, those got super expensive. Season Plus, and I rather surprised we're getting it on console, but I think that the Season Plus might just replace the normal seasons, I guess, down the road as they kind of work on developing it. But the season was great for console. I think they could have given us a few more things, like maybe a season Node War server or a season, enhanced RBF or something. But ultimately, they're going to streamline kind of the objective. This is all in Korean, and it'll change. But I think they're going to give us some new objectives for combat and life and maybe some other things to kind of do during the season other than just level up. And as you do, maybe you'll get better rewards. You can see here the frozen stone things, and you'll get some jewelry in there, it looks like, too. And so as you kind of knock out all the objectives, instead of just hitting like one goal, it looks like they'll give you more rewards as you knock out a percentage of stuff to do in the season, which is pretty good, because I think instead of just like leveling up and completing the main storyline, having more stuff to do is a positive in my experience. And they're also going to like retool the enhancing system, and I think on console this might hurt the market because there aren't as many people enhancing right now. But it's going to give. It's great for new players, and even me as an existing player who doesn't have pen armor yet because I just buy AP items. It's going to give you, so if I look at my first pen armor from one of these, I would go with a dim tree unless you need evasion boots. So it's kind of, I would kind of avoid the helmet unless you have everything else, but the first 3 are pretty good choices. Vel in an Ocean Guild, I've been looking forward to this. So the Heart 3 AP, I wouldn't expect to get these. They did double or like triple the drop in PC, and I think they're still hard to get. So it's been good. It's like a crashing mess on PC from what I've heard. It's like 1,000 boats still out there. So I don't know if they're going to be able to give this to us as a guild item. I'm trying to see in here. So maybe it's going to be guild. Yeah, okay. So guild raids against the Bell and playing update in October. So it's going to be guild item. Caphras level 10. I was surprised they're even going to give us level 10. If you see some of the people we fight against in Tet armor, you get like one-shotted with maxed out people in our current gear. So hopefully as they make armor easier to get, it's going to mitigate some of that. But that's also me just not buying DP items. But anyway, Ataraxian. Honestly, I still haven't been to Ataraxian just because I think it's hard to find a group. I think if they made it instanced and kind of built it out a little bit better, it would have launched better, and also if the rewards are worth it, people would have found groups to it. But I think it's a good initiative that they're doing with Ataraxian. I just think they need to make it so that way your average player who doesn't have any friends can get in there. Anyway, enough of that. BDO has been a solo game for a long time, and most people have been playing by themselves for a year. So telling everyone you got to go group up and go into a dungeon without kind of having a tool to do that I think was kind of where it missed. I think the concept looked good. I think it's just with the rewards and the lack of the initiative to group it up is kind of where that fell apart. This is pretty cool because it's hard to tell who's who in Siege, and especially if you're. And I think a lot of people are, like, hey, we got to be on the red team or the green team kind of thing. But I think now that you can fight in kind of groups here, if you're got a friendly guild that's on the other side and you're kind of cooperating, you can be like, hey, like instead of trying to find their name above their head while they're red, you could be like, all right, don't attack the blue guys. They're friendly, at least, or working with us, I guess. I think that's kind of one of the big positives out of the outfit. And also making it less laggy will help as well. But I think, being able to distinguish people further away without trying to read their name above their head is one of the bigger benefits my end. The buff bosses are pretty good. I've been waiting for this for a while, and ever since we, got past like Valencia, and the bosses basically, unless you go there naked, you don't even take damage. So I think it's pretty good. The bosses are going to drop more meaningful rewards and more meaningful loot. So each boss kind of has a different, more powerful state, which is pretty good. As we get them, I'll do videos on them. The Doom Horse is great. PC got this right before they got Sakurai, I believe. So we're right around like the same timeline then. This thing's pretty OP. If you're like a ranger or a wizard, you can kind of go run through these things and shoot people from the horse, and also kill people with the Doom Horse. It's pretty fun. So Khan's Heart stuff, basically most people will take, the life zone, I want to say, because you're going to want to replace, this goes in your alchemy spots, you're going to want to take the 3 AP one more than the Khan's Heart of Destruction, I think, for most people on console. The attack speed and stuff is nice on it, but and the accuracy and the AP, but I want to say that most people are going to take Vel over the Khan's Destruction thing. But the life thing is great because you got the drop rate and the alchemy cooking time and the mastery buff, which is the most important. The 25 mastery is pretty big as you get more and more, towards 1,1500, or even then, just to get you to the next bracket. The manor, we've all seen it, we've all tried to get in it, and the doors just don't open. But we're gonna get the manor. You can go plant some flowers, and I think this would be cool to live in because it's right near hideout, which a lot of people do imperial cooking out of. And hopefully they expand the manors. I honestly thought we would get one in Valencia because there are already kind of like manors out there, but hopefully they'll bring one out to Valencia soon because I live out there and it's lonely. And I don't see anyone ever, which is good for my cooking boxes. But aside from that one fishing event where like 10 people fished in by the storage matter like a year ago, I've seen one person in Valencia City, and I turn my Imperials in there like every day and I cook in there. So hopefully they get more people out to other cities with the manors and some other stuff. So Odalita, I'll do a separate video on this covering exactly what's in here. You might have seen Evil Do Us Harm's Why I Live in Odalita video, and I'll summarize it up. It's a great little city. In addition to some good grind spots, which would be good for console, probably some of the top tier money ones if I had to guess. But you get the Fallen God armor. Once you get a Pen Red Nose or Pen Dentry, you can kind of roll it into a Fallen God armor, and I'll touch upon that in another later video, like always. But so you get some Tauros and some other kind of nice little grind areas, which are good for us on console. Probably so you to go underwater or go into the desert. That's pretty much it. There's some quality life update stuff. It looks like they're finally gonna, everyone who's been spamming PS5 version or next gen version to Trent and Scherner on streams, thank you, because it looks like they're finally going to commit to doing it. I honestly think it's needed because they could make probably improvements to the graphics and give us kill notifications for, if you're next gen only, rather than, like, hey, why didn't we have it before? I'd almost guarantee you the reason is because the PS4 would catch on fire if you put some of that stuff in there. So I think that's, a great piece to it. The Clash reboots, I think we're gonna get like 1 or 2 a week, so maybe look for these to drop around Thanksgiving. But it'll be on the global labs. You'll hear from Anders or other streamers on them. I'm probably not gonna cover them too much then, just gonna play a lot of these classes, so won't be too much coming from me on those until they're like kind of close to done, unless the Wizard one comes out, and I'll chime in then. But so the next gen update, I'm looking forward to it. I would expect something next year just because they got a lot going on with the class stuff. I wouldn't be like, hey, like next week we're gonna get one, but maybe look for the end of the year or early next year. Look for as they kind of leave the old gen behind and they push out new gen where we get the kill notifications and maybe some enhanced frames and graphics and adjust some of the crashings, node war stuff on the next gen consoles. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll throw some clips in here and touch upon some of the other content as they come up, or now that I know it's there in advance. And this basically gets us to like on par with PC, which is pretty good. Take it easy, guys.